Admiral Rogers, thank you for appearing again for the
Sure.
committee. If I heard you correctly, you testified to Senator Ayotte that your three main fears were threats to our critical infrastructure, the ability to manipulate systems such that we might not have faith in their operations, and third, non-state actors using cyber as a weapon against the United States. Is that an accurate
Yes, sir.
count?
Yes, sir.
Are either the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda able to do any of those three things at this point?
I haven't seen them yet, but my concern is that's now.
So the Islamic State has a reputation for being very effective online. What we infer then is online recruiting and propaganda is a distinct skill set from the use of cyber as a weapon against
Yes,
things
sir.
like electrical power grids and so
Yes,
forth.
sir.
How hard would it be for a non-state actor like the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda to develop that skill set? Is it nothing more than recruiting the right person?
It would not be difficult. It's about recruiting the right people with the right focus, but it's certainly not beyond their ability if they decide. I believe it's not beyond their ability if they made that decision.
When we think about other potential non-state actors, do those groups that have that capability or are approaching the capability tend to be associated with state actors?
In some cases, yes, but not in all. Not in all.
Okay. I want to turn now to the ongoing debate about encryption. I think data security and cybersecurity is obviously critical in the modern world. Most people in this room probably have a smartphone in their pocket. Even my 70-year-old father finally turned in his flip phone and got a smartphone recently. We keep emails, text messages, phone calls, financial information, health information, many other sensitive data.
He's ahead of Senator Graham.
On our phones. So I think data and cybersecurity is essential. I also think physical security is essential,
Right.
and I'd hate to see Americans get blown to pieces because we had an imbalanced priority of cybersecurity over physical security. How do we strike that balance as a society?
My first comment would be, I don't think it's either or.
I don't either. There has to be some kind of...
My argument would be, we don't serve either viewpoint particularly well when we cast this as, well, it's all or nothing, it's either or. My view is, over time, we have been able to integrate ground-changing technology in the course of our nation and to do it in a way that enables the nation under the right circumstances with the right level of control to be able to access that. And for me, my starting position is, what is it that is different about this that would preclude that from applying here? I just don't personally see that, even as I acknowledge there's no one simple answer. There's probably no one silver bullet. It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. But I look at the innovation and the can-do approach that we have as a nation to this, and I'm thinking we can solve this.
Like, for instance, a decades-old law known as the Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act, which tells telecom companies of any size that if they want to construct a telephone system in this country, it has to be susceptible to a wiretap pursuant to a court order. If the court finds probable cause to order a wiretap against, say, a terrorist suspect or a human trafficker or a drug dealer or so forth. Similarly, we all expect privacy in our bank accounts, but banks obviously must maintain systems in which they turn over bank account information subject to a court order against, say, a potential money launderer. Is there any reason our society should treat data and tech companies differently from how we treat telephone companies and banks?
I mean, that's clearly a much broader issue than Cyber Command. I won't get into the good or bad, so to speak, but like you, I just say, look, we've got frameworks in other areas. Why can't we apply that here?
Okay. These questions have been about the larger debate about encryption going forward, the way smartphones are designed, the way messaging systems are designed. There was a case recently involving Apple and the FBI and the San Bernardino shooter, in which the FBI requested Apple's assistance to override a feature of an iPhone. Apple refused. The FBI apparently found a third party capable of doing so and has withdrawn that case. Should Americans be alarmed at this kind of vulnerability in such a widely used device?
The way I would phrase it is, vulnerability is an inherent nature of the technical world that we live in today. And if your desire is to live in a world without vulnerability, I would say that is probably highly unlikely.
Do you know if we've shared that vulnerability with Apple, the United States government?
As the U.S. Cyber Command, sir, I apologize, I don't know.
Thank you.